Welcome to Military Broadcast Radio.
Every view, every listener, and every share helps our mission.
Every donation helps keep Military Broadcast
on the air. Every donation makes a difference. Thank you for your support. mbradio.us. Good morning and welcome to the show. It's RED Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. We hope you wore red today. Thank you for joining us and supporting our troops.
We begin on the tracks, rails stretching beyond the horizon. Each tie a memory, each rail a promise of where we might go. In the early years, our first logo appeared, a pioneer stepping onto the platform of possibility. Through seasons of growth, change, and challenge, we moved forward. The whistle of opportunity sounded, and we boarded the train of time. The view changed with every mile, some stations brief, others lasting. Our logos changed too, not just emblems, but mile markers of evolution. Along the way, seats filled with teammates, mentors, veterans, and friends. Some stayed for the ride, others stepped off, leaving their legacy on the rails behind us. And still, the journey continues. The tracks ahead stretch into the unknown, familiar yet full of new promise. What matters most is how we travel, with purpose, with grit, with heart. Because the journey matters, the movement matters, and the legacy of those logos, every year, every show, lives on in the rhythm of these rails. So here we are once again, all aboard. The whistle blows, the tracks call. Together we ride. We are the H-Train Show, showing veterans programs beyond the VA since 2015. H is in the building now.
Let's go!
Are you ready for the H-Train Show?
It's coming live.
I took the oath. 20 years I gave my soul. Sandstorms, fire, a roadside blast. Everything I knew shattered fast.
You haven't seen nothing yet! Woo!
Drowning in turmoil, 15 meds, mine in a haze. Living felt like a permanent dead. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. Voice of the broken, thunder in my chest. With the freedom fighters rising from the wreck. Parents pulled me from the edge of night, pushed me forward back into the light. Ski boots on, carving through pain. Felt my fire on that frozen terrain. Said I was too old to beat the race, so I trained like hell, put them in their place. From slurred words to a podium stand, yeah, I'm racing with lightning in my hands. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. From Kokomo to Olympic slopes, we're the freedom fighters born to cope. Now I take the mic, not a rifle. Broadcast truth, yeah, that's survival. Paralyzed, but still I lead. With every word we plant a seed. Still standing, warriors loud. Can't break us, we screaming proud. Not wounded, we're on the attack. Freedom fighters, and we're taking it back. Freedom fighters, yeah. Keep rising. Freedom fighters.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Red Friday,
July 24th, 2026. And just so everybody knows, we're having a little bit of technical issues when it comes to TikTok. HG is still messing with that. If we can't get it going, then well, in fact, until we get it going, HG, go on there and just use the Roku and do it the normal way until we get it figured out. But with all that, we have a great show planned for you today. We have a service dog organization who is going to be the interview of today. And, also before I forget, Amber, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm looking for a video, but I'm doing all right. I
thought that video that you sent me, I thought that was the factor cap, because I'm like,
hey, well, I mean, if you want to use that for the factor cap, I mean, I love the whole thing. So,
yeah, well, it does make you wonder, things that make you go,
yes.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's mail call that we're going to do is a little bit special. I don't think Amber's even seen this yet, but ladies and gentlemen, today is mail call.
Attention, mail call.
Oh my God!
He's got mail.
Welcome to Mail Call, your soldier spotlight, powered by WorkSimple, highlighting those who serve and inspire.
Good morning, Joy.
Welcome in. Sorry, all your videos got removed with the refresh.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Well,
StreamYard.
there we go.
Yeah, StreamYard is actually here today.
Hi. If you don't know, my name is Joel Hunt, also known as the H Train. And here at Military Broadcast Radio, I have a message for everybody that's watching this. It's a message from all of us here at Military Broadcast Radio. You see, every week, more than 32 veterans hosted shows go live on this platform. These aren't paid broadcasters. They're veterans, first responders, military spouses, and advocates who volunteer their time because they believe someone out there needs to hear the message of hope. Oh, faith. MJ would hurt me if she heard me say that. Some of our hosts are dealing with PTSD. Some are fighting loneliness. Some are battling the invisible wounds themselves of military service. But every time that they go live, they have a purpose, and every time someone tunes in, another veteran realizes they're not alone. That's what Military Broadcast Radio is all about, giving veterans a voice, letting their veteran voices be heard. What many people don't realize is that our hosts never pay a dime to be on this platform. We absorb those costs because we believe no veteran should ever have to pay to share their story, help another veteran, or build a community. But the platform itself isn't free. We maintain multiple streaming platforms, professional broadcasting software, websites, podcasting, hosting, and the technology that allows these shows to reach veterans around the world. Right now, we're trying to raise $2,600 to keep these services running so far. We've reached only about 15% of that goal. If Military Broadcast Radio has ever made you smile, if one of our shows have ever helped you through a difficult day, I've learned something, I've met someone, or simply found a place where veterans understand veterans, we're asking you to stand beside us today. And maybe you can't afford it. Maybe you know someone who you can connect us with. We're asking you to stand beside us today. if it's only $10 or $25, maybe you're a business owner looking into becoming one of the title sponsors and help us carry this mission forward. Every dollar doesn't just support a radio station, it helps a veteran connected. It gives another first responder a place to tell their story. It reminds us who's struggling that tomorrow's worth seeing. Because sometimes the most powerful form of suicide prevention is simply knowing someone is listening, knowing someone cares, knowing you still have a voice. From all of us here at Military Broadcast Radio, thank you for believing in this mission since 2005. Thank you for believing in our veterans, and thank you for helping us continue letting our veterans' voices be heard and giving veterans a voice.
Hi, I'm Beaker with Military Broadcast Radio TV. We're your virtual MWR, bringing veterans radio, podcasts, gaming, animation, 3D printing, and a community that
For some reason, you're muted and I was muted too.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, I muted us so that it wouldn't echo with that video. I didn't think about that. But the reason why we did the spotlight is because we've been in this hard corner before. Our back has been against the wall before, and we've asked the community, we've asked our family and friends to help out, and they have done numerous times. Well, this is no different, but this time we really need the help. So maybe maybe you can't afford it, but maybe you know somebody that can. Maybe you have a friend that you can connect us through. We're asking friends, family, whoever's watching this episode to help us, because it's not just us. There's 33 veterans on this platform that is looking at you guys to help us. I mean, yeah, sure, we can donate like we've been donating, but that's like buying an award. Ask Beyonce about that. So we don't think that we need to be spending money to share our stories, kind of thing. So if you can help, let us know. We would appreciate it. With that being said, today's top news is
Week in Review. Next stop, Week in Review.
okay. So today's top story is, and then, we've covered this before, but I'm just going to reiterate before we go on break. Today's top story is, what in the hell are they doing with the Richard Starr Act, or the Take Care of a Veteran Act that's in legislation? Well, once again, right now we're on deck. Right now we're on overtime. We're waiting for them to vote on it. Okay? But what the political or government has done successfully is they have put one group against one group fighting. And if you guys remember me talking to you about this a while back, I told you this was going to happen. That they were going to put us up against each other, because the government they want us to block this. They have no desire for this to happen. They want us to block it. Okay? So, this is my setting for you. Just because the uniform comes off doesn't mean that our character does. As veterans, as soldiers, we have it in our ethos, selfless service. We think of others before we think of ourselves. And that should not stop here. I don't care if it's money. I don't care what it is. Our time will come. We need to be patient. Hell, we've waited 7-8 years for this. What's one more month? What's one more year? I understand people are dying and they don't have this benefit. Well, people are dying in the red zone too, but you have to wait for cover before we can go and grab them, right? Nothing's changed. Relax. Ease it. Don't attack your brothers and sisters. Maybe they don't understand how the bill reads. And the VA has already put out that these two things that they're talking about in the bill, they're already doing it. They're already doing it. No matter if this bill gets passed or not, it's in the records. You can look at it in the VA. So relax, walk around, enjoy life. Quit worrying about stuff that you cannot control, because it's not going to do you any good. That's our top news story today, is the Richard Starr Act and the Veterans Act. I have a strong optimism that it will pass, but don't be attacking veterans. And I tell you, veterans, if you have 100%, great. If you have 30%, that's great too. Quit telling people how much you're rated. All that's going to do is cause jealousy. That's all that's going to do. Think about it. If you show somebody your brand new car, it's a BMW, are you going to be happy for them, or are you going to be kind of jealous? You're going to be kind of jealous. I wish I had something like that. It's no different. Keep your rating to it's nobody's business what your rating is. Nobody's business. And make sure, if you know somebody and they're not on Facebook, or they are on Facebook and they're not posting, they're pretty quiet, there's a reason for that. Reach out to them. Don't expect them to reach out to you. So that is today's top story. I know it's not much of a top story, but I could sit here, Amber, and talk about the Iran war and all this stuff, but it's redundant. Nothing's changed. Nothing's going to happen. There's no future, and what there's no end of the tunnel. I mean, that's the reason why they're on C-SPAN. They're going through these different like courtrooms and stuff. Nothing's going to change. The weather all over the United States right now is hot as balls. Okay, it's hotter than a black sock on a black roof.
It's actually beautiful here right now.
Oh, just wait. It's only 10 o'clock, or it's only 9 o'clock there. So yeah, wait until like 1 o'clock, between 1 and 3. Yeah, that's when it's killer. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of news that I really want to cover that is, about the veterans benefits and stuff, because everything's like wishy-washy, people, rumors and stuff. And, I'm seeing it a lot with veterans attacking other veterans. There was a guy on TikTok yesterday that was, ripping up like nonprofits and stuff. Hey, these big nonprofits like Folds of Honor, different nonprofits, just realize that usually they're not like the Wounded Warrior Project. They don't have 250 employees. Some of them are like MBR. We have one worker bee and like 4 people that give advice and help set stuff up and coordinate it. Sometimes a small nonprofit is like literally the backbone. Like I mean, there's not very many people that are working in the office. Here at MBR, it really is just me. Amber helps me a majority of the time. Tracer helps me the majority of the time. But from, Monday through Sunday, if something's going on with the station, I'm the last stop, basically. They're there to help me, but I'm the last stop. And people need to realize that we're a small nonprofit. We ain't a 500 company. We don't have grants or funding or anything like that coming in. And just so everybody knows, one way you can really help us is get a $5 subscription monthly. You'll get cartoons every week right before today's show. We got them today. Just help us out. $5 might not seem much to you, but if we can get, 700 people to do $5, well, hell, we just got the StreamYard fixed. So with that being said, we're going to go on our first music break, and I'm going to help him get this stupid TikTok thing working. With that being said, we're going to go on a music break. And when we come back, we'll be hitting the WTF moment. The tease for the WTF moment is, tell me, do you know what you're putting in your body? Is the grocery store food good or is it not? We'll talk about it. We'll hit it next. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H Train Show right here on the station, letting a veteran's voices be heard, MBR. Stay with us next.
Between our toes by men who crossed oceans and came back close. They didn't talk much about the hell that they saw, just tipped their hats and lived by the law. We learned early on, you stand or you fall, carry your weight or you don't stand at all. From a hard day's work, no time for lust, showed us what a man is by what a man does. We weren't raised quitters, suck dust, bent steel, learned to take a hit before we learned to feel. Don't be freedom's foe. That's how it goes with the Boomer Boys. With the Boomer Boys. Yeah. We cut our own switches, drank from roadside ditches, learned which way the river really flows. Yeah, smart enough to always peek downstream. Hard lessons not every generation knows. Work through sickness, sweat, broken bones. Didn't need a lot to stand on our own. Punch the clock, brought a paycheck home, clothes on, our kids back. That's how love was shown. We don't go looking, but we won't back down. Threading what's ours and up in the ground. Don't be freedom's foe. Don't bring my family woe. You never known pain like the kind you know. When you make a good man bad, take his peace away, turn a quiet life into a judgment day. It'll be fun, we won't run, cut you down without noise. That's how it goes with the Boomer Boys. Yeah, with the Boomer Boys. Oh. A homegrown sleeper cell, quiet and still, protecting our kids and paying our bills. Leave our culture alone, let a flag fly free, or suffer the storm from every color and creed. Raised by wolves from a harder time, depressed Christian grit and a war-born mind. They didn't show love like we do today. Too tired for our time. Just go out and play. Don't take my freedom, don't threaten my kin. You'd rather take a wolf's kill from its den or slap a rattlesnake to see what it do. You'll get bit either way, and that's all on you. Our fathers were hard men, they suffered and lost. Built tomorrow from nothing, no matter the cost. Knocked down many times, but got back in the game. They showed us the way, then gave us the reins. Don't be freedom's foe, don't bring my family woe. You've never known pain like the kind you know. When you make a good man bad, take his peace away, turn a quiet life into a judgment day. It'll be fun, we won't run, cut you down without noise. That's how it goes with the Boomer Boys. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, songs of silence, steel and scars, raised in the shadow of old war stars. And if that call comes, you won't hear noise, just the rising stone of the Boomer Boys. Hey!
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H Street Show here on the station that's letting our veterans' voices be heard. So, now we finally, I think we got everything figured out now. We're streaming on TikTok. It's kind of a bugger, but we got it going, right? We got it going. All right, so it is that time. It is the WTF segment.
About the food system is actually wrong. Hi, my name is Nate. I am a regenerative farmer in Oklahoma. We raise 5 species of livestock over 300 acres, and I want to tell you a little bit about the food system and why you need to be careful what you're buying. Back in 2016, we started farming, and prior to that, I had no experience farming, never stepped foot on a farm, and I bought groceries based on price, taste, and convenience. Over the years, the food system has kind of been rattled, whether that's through COVID or egg shortage last year, and now we're getting diarrhea from lettuce, and everyone's starting to figure out that all this lettuce that's coming from Taco Bell is the same lettuce at Walmart, which is the same lettuce at Whole Foods, just all packaged differently. It's all Taylor Farms or whatever. It's the same thing with chicken. People are slowly figuring out that, like, oh, Whole Foods chicken is the same as Walmart chicken, which is just Tyson chicken. It's just repackaged under various different brands. Cream cheese is the same way. There's like one huge cream cheese factory in this country that supplies 90% of the cream cheese to all the different brands so that you have a choice at the grocery store. Nobody wants to go to the grocery store and have Philadelphia cream cheese and Philadelphia chicken and Philadelphia lettuce and Philadelphia pizza and Philadelphia pot stickers, right? We all want to be able to go and look at 3 to 5, 10 different brands of something and choose. It's why there's not like the American Standard Egg or the Oklahoma Egg Company or whatever, and that's all you have available in Oklahoma. It's all you have available at your local grocery store, wherever you are. We want 7, 12, 15 different brands of eggs so that we can look through those eggs and decide which one is best for us, our budget, our family, our dietary needs, etc. The truth is that we as Americans don't understand the scale of the food system. Let me give you a little perspective. So here in Oklahoma, 380 million chickens were raised for consumption. Not just for Oklahoma consumption, but that's just how many birds were raised here in the state, right? Almost all of those, really all of those birds were raised entirely in confinement, never seen a blade of grass, never seen sunshine. These are factory farmed birds, right? Well, we raise chickens on pasture, right? We raised 16,000 birds last year. We are the largest in the state in terms of pasture raised chicken. 388 million were raised in the state. We raised 16,000 of those. We are the largest in the state. To give you an idea, that means that less than 1% of 1% of all of the chicken raised in Oklahoma is raised even remotely outside. And yet the consumer thinks that if they go to Whole Foods or Sprouts or Aikens or whatever, right? You get the picture that you are going to be able to find your organic free range, whatever that means, or you're going to be able to find the alternative to these factory farm chickens. And the truth is, for the most part, you're not. I remember a couple years ago when Tyson Foods walked back their no antibiotics ever pledge and just said, hey, that wasn't sustainable. We're not going to do that anymore. Bottom line, they didn't want to have to be accountable to that. I can get into that in another video. So they walked that back and said, all right, hey, we're not going to do our no antibiotics ever thing. We're going to only do antibiotics that are not negatively affecting humans or something. I can't remember the verbiage. And then within a few weeks, Chick-fil-A comes out and walks back their no antibiotics ever claim. And then everybody's up in arms. It's like when Tyson Foods did it, people were like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Then Chick-fil-A did it, which is, there's a cult following. There's people that go there every week to feed their kids, and that's like the #1 snack, whatever. They walked their claim back. And you go to their Instagram when they did this, and it's just blowing up with these comments that are like, no, Chick-fil-A, please don't put antibiotics in your chickens. We don't want that. That's the reason I bring my family, right? You get it. What people weren't putting together was that Tyson walked back, and so Chick-fil-A had to walk back. And then finally, you see some people that are like, wait a minute. Does Chick-fil-A just buy chicken from Tyson? Yes. Like, all of the brands do. And I'm going to say I'm painting with a broad brush here, so bear with me, but all of the brands do this, right? So if it's a health food brand or whatever, like any brand out there is going to be tempted when they get big enough to start finding a source for chicken or lettuce or beef or whatever that is cheaper and more readily available than what they're currently sourcing. And I saw this happen with Whole Foods way back in the day. They were sourcing from a great farm, White Oak Pasture, and Will Harris. They were selling them a ton of grass-fed beef, responsibly raised grass-fed beef out of Bluffton, Georgia. And then Whole Foods started walking back and being like, well, we're getting some beef from Paraguay or Uruguay or what have you. And they started backing off the orders from White Oak to the point where White Oak just pulled out and said, hey, the insurance that you require us to carry is not worth it anymore. And so we're not going to sell grass-fed beef to Whole Foods. And you can look that up and read all about, listen to Will Harris on Joe Rogan, and he talks about that whole scenario. So the point of this video is to remind you, in light of this lettuce deal that we were just dealing with, to remind you guys that if you're sourcing from a huge national grocery chain, I don't care what grocery chain it is, if it's a huge national grocery chain, you have to understand that almost everything is the same across all of the grocery chains. All the food may be different labels. You may have 6 different labels of chicken at your local grocery store, and they just buy that chicken in from Tyson or Purdue or whatever, one of the big companies. They buy that chicken in, slap their own label on it, and they call it Nature's Best or Friendly Happy Farmer something. And they package it in brown and green, and you buy it. And you buy it for 60% more than you would pay for, run-of-the-mill chicken. I mean, your favorite steakhouse, with few exception, probably sources Tyson chicken, and they put it on their menu for $31 for a half chicken. And your favorite breakfast place They probably source eggs from Hanson Brook or Calmaine Foods or whatever, and they put those eggs on the menu as free range eggs, which means basically nothing. You guys have to be careful what you're buying. And if you've got questions and you're really concerned and you actually care a lot about this type of stuff, reach out to your local farmer. Find a farmer in your area, reach directly out to your local farmers market director. Like look up, like if you live in Boston, look up the Boston Farmers Market. Find the director of the farmers market, call them and say, hey, I'm looking for farms to source from, and they will put you in contact with dozens of them because they know all the farmers. Reach out to the farmers, get something, build a relationship, buy their stuff, and then you will actually know where your stuff is coming from. But stop trusting the grocery stores.
I need. Okay, there we go. All right, so one thing that I would like to do on this show, and I know that's probably not going to ever happen because we offer nonprofits, businesses, organizations, everybody. We always offer them a chance to come on the show and talk about situations and talk about what they got going on and stuff like that. I would love for a farmer that's local in Missouri or a farmer that's local here in Colorado. I would love for them to come on the show and talk about it because unfortunately, these farms don't have they don't usually have a little shop on their farm, or little office hours or advertisements. They're busy doing farms. I know what he's getting at. I seriously doubt that Texas Roadhouse gets their stuff from like Tyson, something like that. But I think what he's,
They get their food from Tyson, Texas.
Do
Roadhouse.
they get their food from Tyson?
Yeah.
I'm sure they get their food from a company. I'm not for sure if it's Tyson or not.
I'm sure it is. Tyson provides for a lot of people. I actually worked at Tyson International Corporate Headquarters, I guess is what it's called. I was the file clerk for a little while. And my dad also worked for Tyson. And I used to collect eggs and run a chicken farm for Tyson with my dad as a teenager for just a very brief stint. And that got me to where I didn't want to eat eggs ever again for a very long time.
Oh.
So.
Okay. I never knew that about you. I never knew that you worked at Tyson.
Yeah. And I think he even went to church with us. So yeah. But even in so for instance, baby wipes. People are like particular about what type of baby wipes they use on their child. Well, a lot of the baby wipes that are made in the same factory. Charles used to make baby wipes. He used to mix the chemicals that went into the baby wipes. And he also mixed the chemicals that went into Clorox wipes. So, and they would go out to different companies, just packaged differently. So a lot of people think they're getting a higher quality or whatever, or something completely different, but they're not. They're getting the exact same thing. So, yeah. It happens all over.
And Joy even said it in the comments that when it comes to like the food supply, she's scared. Hey, Joy, you're not alone. I'm scared too. You know why? Because I got a black thumb. Okay, like I can't even grow a flower. I can't even grow a rose. A rose blooms every other year. That tells you how bad my shit is. Okay, I cannot grow nothing. So to try to grow corn or anything like that, like. I think I would starve, but one thing I did tell Cass the other day, the one thing that I've learned, like, If you have to do it, you'll learn real fast.
Oh yeah,
You'll learn real fast. You know, you can sit there and say, "Hey, it sounds too expensive." If you really want it, if you really need it, you're gonna figure out a way to do it. Okay. Somebody calls you, says, "Hey man, I ain't got no money." Okay. They get arrested. I guarantee you by the end of the day, they figure out a way to get bail money. Okay. That's the biggest thing. You know, person can be broke as shit. They always figure out a way. Trust me. Trust me. When there's a will, there's a way. And that, ladies and
when it
gentlemen,
comes to a crackhead.
yeah. Yeah, don't get outworked by a crackhead, everybody. That's today's title.
And
All
I know
right.
that from experience, not my own experience, but watching others.
Oh man! All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Let's learn something today, and I'm sure I got with this. I almost tempted not to do this one because you'll see what I mean. Conspiracy theories.
Oh yes.
But
I
ladies
love
and gentlemen,
great
it is that
conspiracy
time. It is drop that date.
Today in history. 1969.
All right, so today's drop the date.
July
Welcome
24th,
back.
1969. The crew of Apollo 11 safely returned to Earth, completing one of the greatest achievements in human history. July
You're muted.
Videos like, yeah, okay, that's okay. So it's that time again for the drop the date. Today we travel back to July 24th, 1969, when the crew of Apollo 11 safely returned to Earth after making history. Just days earlier, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to walk on the moon, while Michael Collins remained in orbit aboard the command module. Together, they accomplished what many believed was impossible. On this day, their command capsule splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean, where they were welcomed home after completing one of the greatest missions in human history. It was more than scientific achievement. It was a moment that the United States and inspired people around the world to dream bigger than ever before. I saw that, Joy, allegedly. Apollo 11 showed us what can happen when courage, determination, teamwork, and innovation come together with a common purpose. It reminds us that no challenge is too great when people refuse to give up. As veterans and first responders and supporters, this message still resonates today because every mission has obstacles. Every journey has moments when success seems out of reach, but history has shown us that perseverance can take us farther than we ever imagined. So today, we remember the men who proved that the impossible was possible and whose legacy continues to inspire generations around the world. Now, for those that are looking at that and the conspiracy is catching up, let me tell you something else. Yesterday, I saw a TikTok. Yesterday in history, I forget her name, but she was an Olympic gold medalist gymnast. And she had done 3 poses, 3 acts. And on the third one, she hurt herself. So she had one more chance to demonstrate, and that's what she did. And she demonstrated. I think it was Carrie something. I forget the last name, but she won the gold medal for the Olympics. It is possible, people. It is possible all the way to 2009, 2010, when the Denver Broncos was going into overtime with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And everybody's like, oh, we can't believe Denver got us into overtime. That's okay. We'll kill them. And the next thing you know, Tim Tebow throws a left slant to Demetrius Thomas, and he runs it all the way, and boom, we win our first playoff game. The first quarterback to win a playoff game that doesn't play anymore. It happens. So what I'm trying to say is, as this weekend goes and as the week goes, because I've had a hard week. I'm sure you've had a hard week too. I think it's important for everybody and for us to realize that, everybody gets speeding tickets every week. Everybody's going through something every week. But you know what? Last week, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to dread this week, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? We made it. And if you're feeling down and depressed today, congratulations. You have survived when some people haven't.
Amen.
Some people aren't saying nothing to you, but they're looking at you, and you are the struggle handbook. Keep that in mind. And, just remember, don't take your life, because it's not just your life, it's your family and friends also. Trust me. You might not want us in your life, or you might have issues with us, but we still care. We're still here. With that being said, we are going to go on our next music break now that we got TikTok and everything good. And when we come back, I'm hoping that our in-studio interview will be here, and maybe we'll get to play and meet some puppies. I don't know yet. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. We've got at least 4 songs that we're going to play during this music break, because it's going to be a special interview of the week. So once again, stay with us. Don't leave. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H Train Show right here on the station that's giving veterans, letting our veterans' voices be heard. MBR. Stay with us. Coming up next.
Back in the day when everything that was made was brought to life by American soul. Promises kept and differences made to keep alive a dying trade, 'cause we believed hard work made it so. Sworn to the black to keep safe our way of life and how we're raised, 'cause we're not gonna lose what we stand for. Black, and we're never looking back. You may never like what I do, or all the ways I make it through. Well, I'm not gonna change, and you don't have to stay. Welcome to American Dream. West was won, battles were fought, and wrongs were done, but we stand on the right side of our hearts. And though things are bleak, we'll never run. We've all stood fast to face the gun. Our lives are pledged to prevent tyranny start. We are
They thank me for my service. They shake my hand and smile. They say you made it home now, but they don't see the miles. And they don't hear the silence when the world goes to sleep, or see the ghost beside me in the memories I keep. I still see dusty highways, hear the rotor blades above, still see the folded flag handed to the ones they loved. And every single Memorial Day feels like I'm there again, standing in the middle of goodbye, losing brothers, losing friends. 'Cause I never really came back home. Part of me got left behind, with the names carved into stone and the tears that families hide. Everybody says I survived, like somehow I should feel whole. But every day I carry them deep within my soul. I made it back breathing, but I lost so much alone. The truth is, after war, I never really came back home. For some it's just a holiday, a barbecue a day away. But for those who wore the uniform, the hurt never fades away. It's birthdays they'll never celebrate, kids growing up without their dad, mothers holding pictures close, trying not to break too bad. And I ask God why I made it, why my sea was still filled, why I got another sunrise while my brothers never will. There ain't a medal for the guilt, no parade can heal the pain. You just learn to keep on breathing while it pours like endless rain. I never really came back home. Part of me got left behind, with the names carved into stone and the tears that families hide. Everybody says I survived, like somehow I should feel whole. But every day I carry them deep within my soul. I made it back breathing, but I lost so much alone. The truth is, after war, I never really came back home. If you see me staring quiet, please don't think I don't care. I'm just talking to the memories of the ones no longer there. And every laugh, every freedom, every flag that waves today was paid for by the broken hearts of the ones who couldn't stay. No, I never really came back home, though my boots touch American soil. Part of me stayed on that battlefield, in the smoke and fear and turmoil. So this Memorial Day, remember, freedom came with heavy cost, and some of us are still searching for the pieces that were lost. I'm still here fighting battles that the world may never know, 'cause the day I came home alive was the day I lost my home. Well, if I died tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I died tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? Always under pressure, now I stare it at the sun. I'll ride these wings to heaven, what I did is what I've done. And if I died tomorrow, would you come visit me? Wipe off my headstone, maybe rake some leaves, place some pretty flowers and get down on your knees. Maybe say we miss you, then come back another week. Never take for granted your time on this earth. Live each day like it's your last. Love the ones you hold dear. Oh, I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? And did I do the right things for my family? And did I do the right things for my family? Well, if I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? Always under pressure, now I stare it at the sun. I'll ride these wings to heaven, what I did is what I've done. And if I die tomorrow, and if I die tomorrow, would you come visit me? Wipe off my headstone, maybe rake some leaves, place some pretty flowers, and get down on your knees. Maybe say we miss you, then come back another week. Never take for granted your time on this earth. Live each day like it's your last. Love the ones you hold dear.
All right, and I think I'm muted.
You're good.
We can hear you.
Am I?
Yeah.
Because I don't see. Oh, there we go. All right. I just don't hear myself for some reason. All right. Well, why do I not hear myself?
Your headphones might have gotten unplugged.
Okay. Amber, you talk while I fix my thing because I got to be able to hear.
Well, hello, Joel from Soul Dogs. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Amber. Really glad to be here. This is fantastic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Joel Schneider. He is the CEO of the.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, we are joined by John here. He is the executive director of Soul Dogs Incorporated here in Westminster, Colorado. And you can go ahead and fade it out. And thank you for coming in. You were our first in studio guest. Usually it's virtual. Yeah. So,
really?
Yeah. It was you. So
Guys, I'm honored to be
yeah.
there. That's
So
all right, cool.
How was it squeezing in there?
As a 6'3" man, around 360 pounds, it's the tight space, but it's worth it. It's always yeah.
We might be small, but we've got the biggest hearts here. So so tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired, because running not only a nonprofit but running a lot of dogs, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, right. So Soul Dogs Inc. itself, I mean, I would love to take credit for it. I can't say I'm not the founder. The founder is a wonderful woman by the name of Chris Anderson, right? Chris has been in the field of working with IDD folks, intellectual development disabled folks, for about 50 plus years. Wealth of knowledge, extremely good at what she does. She had noticed that bringing in kind of her own animals into therapy really did support these participants being really comfortable in expressing their trauma and then working on that trauma. You know, it's tough to say that people just, their trauma's cured and they're good to go, right? But actually having those discussions was always easier with an animal by your side, right? So Soul Dogs Inc. was inspired by just the simple idea that it's easier to talk about trauma when you have that powerful animal connection with you, right? So Soul Dogs Inc. started as a therapy program back in 2019. We work with adults with intellectual developmental disabilities, autism, things like that. And then as they were kind of developing that program, it came into this idea that, yeah, we're seeing this animal thing happen more and more. And we started to have a client saying like, how can I work with animals as a job? Like, I want this to be my career. I want this to happen every single day. So we started making a day program. The day program then developed into this amazing job development program where we're teaching these individuals how to actually work with a slew of animals. We used to have a small zoo. We had blind hedgehogs, we had rabbits, we had cats, we had a bearded dragon named Ash that everybody loved. And we then decided, let's focus down, and we started focusing on dogs. So now Soul Dogs Inc., one of its main programs is our dog training academy. And what we do is we train people with intellectual developmental disabilities and autism to work with dogs as a career. So become dog trainers, become groomers, become dog walkers. It is.
So you're not
inspiring.
only training the dogs, you're also training people as well.
Absolutely. And I think most of my dog trainers on staff would agree. Like, the idea of training a dog is not just the dog itself, it's also the person that has that dog as part of their family. Training them and having them figure out how they can better work with their dog and really understand and get to that bottom line. I mean, every single day we have these individuals come in. We have some people that are very new to the program, some that have been with us for a couple years, and to see the way they just light up when they're engaged with dogs and they're really kind of getting to the nitty-gritty of what they want to do for their lives, it is powerful stuff. It is really powerful stuff. We love our jobs every single day. We're supported by some great dog trainers. We have amazing clients, and it's great to be there. And we obviously do other stuff too. We have great therapy. We do mentorship. We have a support employment program in the community that just, in my opinion, is just absolutely top notch. We train behavior therapy interns. They come into our program and learn how to become better therapists, things like that. So we really do try to do whatever we can. And not only that, when we're training these folks to be dog trainers, one of the ways we do that is by bringing in people from the community who just want their dog trained. Right? So puppy socialization, basic obedience, even if you want service dog training, we can support some and all that. And all those classes are led by one of our participants, one of our clients, trying to get their experience in being a dog trainer. It's an amazing experience. If I thought I could curse on this podcast, I absolutely would, because that's just how good it is.
Yeah. So I got a question. You're talking about having a zoo. I would pay I want a service monkey. Can you make that happen?
I mean, I'd have to probably find a professional monkey trainer, but yeah, absolutely. Because it's easier to find the animal trainer and then train them to work with people with disabilities than it is the other way, right?
Okay.
So yeah, no, absolutely. It's weird because what is the service animal besides just an animal that you're teaching to do specific tasks, right? And that's exactly how you kind of break it down into the simplest kind of method. All right, what task are we training? All right, what's the simplest way we break that down? It's just a job task analysis piece. And we've got some amazing dog trainers in the program. They do a fantastic job.
So these dogs that you receive, and I'm when you're talking about petting zoos, so I'm guessing you have dogs, you have cats. I mean, do you have peacocks? Because evidently those can be service animals. Southwest said it. No,
I think as we go through and research kind of the service animal field, there's right now. I think the latest thing we saw is that in a certain category, it's dogs and it's small horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Small horses.
Those are the service dog animals, not emotional support. Service dog animals, dogs, and small horses. Yeah.
What about a Highland cow?
Yeah. What'd you say, Amber?
I want a Highland cow as a service animal.
There you go.
It seems like that would fit the category, right? They're small enough as those. I forget what that horse is even called, the tiny horses. But yeah, it seems like they would fit the same category. I mean, more than likely, people can't understand the difference between a cow and a horse if they're that tiny anyway. So, I mean, shoot your shot. I say. So, yeah.
So these animals that you guys have, where do you get them? Now, the reason why I asked, because I know is that it was a business model of a long time ago. They don't do it anymore, but like Freedom Service Dogs, that's the biggest service model they had, was they would get the dogs from just rescues. Now I know that a lot of organizations can't do that because only 75% of pets that you get from the rescue mission can actually be service dogs. It's a very low number. Where do you guys get yours?
Well, it's great you mentioned Freedom Service Dogs. We actually partner with them.
Okay.
Our clients that are learning to become dog trainers, when they get to a certain level, we actually send them with Freedom Service Dogs to work with their dogs that are about to graduate. So
Okay.
They're training everything else. We love Freedom Service Dogs. They're an amazing group. If you don't know who they are, check them out and donate whatever you can to help them out. They're an amazing group. So when it comes down to it, for us, like our dogs, it's a combination because obviously we as staff, we all have dogs. So some of those dogs are from staff that are being trained to either be animal assisted therapy dogs. They're trained to hopefully be someone's service dog in the future. We also have folks that have donated puppies to us, like dogs that we can raise from the ground up to try to mold into hopefully a service dog or a therapy dog. And the problem is, yeah, you're talking about those stats, right? So one of the things that my trainers have shared with me is the idea that when it comes down to it, to training a dog to be a service dog, it is a constant kind of assessment of skill, assessment of temperament. And even then, I think the success rate is only about 40% to actually become a full-fledged service dog. So those numbers are incredibly low, but every single time you really just have to shoot your shot because no matter what's going to happen, you're going to come out with a dog that you're going to love. It's going to be well trained, right? So what we try to do is with these dogs that we get donated to us, what we'll do is if we have a client inside of our program that would benefit from what that dog is seeming to become, then we work on that and say, all right, would this be a potentially good fit? Can they start working together? You know, what age is it going to be when this dog is probably at a better state to be assessed and really like, yes, they can be a service dog. They have that drive. They have that ability. So that's always something that you're constantly reassessing. And when we have that match, then we hopefully can match it up with a client in our program who can really benefit from a service dog.
And I'm going to let you ask the next question before I've got plenty of questions, but I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, I was at CrimeCon last month or the month before, and they had dogs there that would sit with victims on the stand or whatever.
Okay.
And so they were showing those dogs off, and I was just so excited about those kinds of programs because I know how hard it is just on a regular day to go through life. And as a child or somebody with severe traumatic events happening in their life, you know, for that comfort to be there, I found that really awesome. And and I've worked, or I haven't worked with, but my daughter has worked with equine therapy for people with autism and disabilities and things like that. And I've seen it work so much, and I'm just in awe on people who can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the equine therapy has always been a really interesting one, especially, you know, when you can get out to those, because typically it's a farm or other kind of even some type of horse kind of treatment recovery center that they provide this equine therapy. And it can be incredibly beneficial. I mean, when you think about it, and all those times, I mean, my family has been, we've been with dogs since I can possibly remember. My mom has stolen dogs from FDA labs. She's rescued dogs off the street. She's started humane societies, things like that. So dogs have always been a part, and they have always been a really kind of loyal member of the family in how I grew up. So when I think about the times that I've had it rough and I've been upset and just haven't been able to handle things, you know, right now we've got our two dogs in the house, Griffin and Riley. And Riley is actually a former soul dog of ours. She was supposed to be a service dog.
Right.
She failed miserably. So one of the things that a soul dog can't be is afraid of stairs. Also, not being a fan of putting on, vests and things like that, which Riley is not a fan of. So she unfortunately failed. And I was like, well, we're adopting this dog, obviously. And even at this point in time, when you have that high emotional time, when something is just dragging you down or you're just upset, family things happen, whatnot, that dog will crinkle her ears and literally come up and try to get in your lap. And she's just this cute as can be kind of tiny lab. And it's just the best feeling on the planet. You know, that comfort, you talk about people who are going through traumatic events, especially in court. and really having to have that tough conversation. That's really what it is. It is that powerful connection we share with animals that can really assist us in talking about these incredibly hard things. The IDD population that we work with, I mean, overall, I think the current statistic is 80 to 85% of them have experienced traumatic events in their life. And those traumatic events can be anything from violent crime, they can be sexual abuse, things like that. And all these things, a high percentage of that comes from people that are trusted caregivers for them, right? And having to deal with that is incredibly hard. And it's something that we try our best, and a lot of agencies do the same, where healing trauma is an important piece to helping someone really experience what it is to relieve something from themselves and then be able to fully participate in what they want to do. It's things like getting a job, like finding that apartment that they feel they can live in the community on their own, kind of have that confidence, that strength, that support, right? And animals play such huge role in that. It's just, again, it's an amazing thing that I selfishly get to see every single day. So I love it, and I think that was a great example in regards to the court thing, because those are hugely traumatic experiences that you have to tell a complete room of strangers, not even one on one with the therapist, a public setting almost, to talk about these things that you've experienced. And they bring a dog, and the dog just sits next to you, puts his head in your lap, and all of a sudden you feel like, okay, all right, I think I can get through this.
Right.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I've said it time and time again. When my mother passed away, my the service dog that I had, he saved my life. Nobody can train to lose a mother or a father, and you were changed when you lose your mother and father. It's different for everybody, but one thing is the same. It changes you. It really does. It changes you. Now, I'm wondering if I want to volunteer, or if I want to do, want to buy, want to get involved in your program. You guys, I'm sure, have an application on your website. Tell the community how we can, support you guys.
When it comes down to it, Soul Dogs Inc., our main goal is always the support of people with disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and autism, right? So volunteering for us, we don't hold kind of many large-scale events. We're only a small team. We're about 35 people strong. We're all along the Front Range. But the main thing that we do at our main site is this dog training thing, which typically a lot of people, that seems like something to be volunteer heavy. We are literally probably bringing on our first volunteer from one of the most prestigious in Colorado, perhaps the nation, kind of autism-based high schools, Temple Grayson. Oh my God, I hope I just said that right.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I butcher shit all the time, so it's okay. I'm like Swedish Chef, except he's funny.
Good work. But yeah, it's funny, the first time we're actually bringing on kind of this volunteer situation, because part of their curriculum to kind of prepare these individuals to move on to whatever kind of future educational career or whatever else they're kind of moving on to, that they have this public experience. So we're literally starting our first volunteer situation with this young man inside of our program. Because for us, you got to figure everything we do at Soul Dogs Inc. is always one-on-one based, right? So our dog trainers work with the client one-on-one. Our therapists work with their clients one-on-one. All of my amazing people out in the community that do support employment, they work with people one-on-one. We don't do anything kind of in a group scenario. So when we think of volunteer, well, a volunteer would basically typically have to go work with someone one-on-one. And to do that, they'd have to be trained in all the things that all of our other staff do, right? So we don't do a lot of volunteering right now. We are seeing the benefit of it. I would like to think we can grow that a lot more. Unlike places that are for instance, Soul Dog Rescue, a place we are confused for constantly. They are an amazing group. They have a huge shelter in Fort Lupton. You see them at PetSmart, Petco all the time doing adoption events. A great organization. They regularly take volunteers. That way you can get dogs out. You can have kennels appropriately cleaned. Everyone can be healthy and happy in the work that they have. For us, everything we do, it's done by our teams. It's done by the individuals in our program, right? We are just like any other dog daycare facility that works with dogs. We are a PACFA licensed facility, and every single day, if any of our clients want to work in the dog field, they got to practice those pack regulations too, which means that they're part of that cleaning process, that prepping, enrichment, and everything else for the dogs. They're part of all those things. So we don't have room for volunteer yet. We're hoping to get there sometime soon because we've been asked by Boy Scout, Girl Scout troops really want to get in there. We want to work with local schools as well a lot and try to get some more folks in there. I mean, for right now, we're a nonprofit, 501c3 charitable organization. We are working with the state of Colorado. We are a program approved service agency with the state of Colorado. A lot of our funding is Medicaid based. Medicaid not doing so hot right now. So, one of the things
society isn't doing so hot right now. I wouldn't even blame it on Medicaid. I'd blame it on just life.
Right. The weather, forest, nothing really making a great headway these days. But yeah, we as a group that survives really on Medicaid funding, we're trying to branch out. We're looking at more fundraising opportunities. So I say this knowing full well that everything is tight right now. If there's anything that you can donate to an organization, not even Soul Dogs Inc., but to local shelters, to any other groups that support people with disabilities, people with trauma, please give whatever you can. You can go to our website, soul-dogs-inc.org. We have a donate link. Anything you give is acceptable. If you have dog things, we've had folks that come by and drop off kennels to us, hey, unfortunately, my dog passed. Do you have any use for these items? We're happy to look through items and see what we can do. If we can't take them, we might know some organizations or people that can take them. So we would love to kind of sort through that with you all as community members. We want to be in our community. We go to events constantly. If you see our table, stop by, get to know us a bit better. We are always happy to hand out free merch. We had this adorable young girl by the name of Violet who did a lemonade stand a couple weeks ago and gave us all the funds from her lemonade stand.
Aww.
Can you describe something cuter to me? No, I don't think. Well, you probably can, but still adorable. She came in, she handed me the money. I gave her all the merch we could. We're gonna make her some paracord collars for her two amazing Saint Bernards she has at her home. But it's stuff like that that really tugs at you and just says we're doing something right. The community wants to support us, and we want to support our community as best we can. But long answer to a short question. No, not a lot of volunteer opportunities right now, but we're hoping to get there eventually. We'll get there sometime soon. I promise. We would love to have the community involved with us more. We just got to figure out, protecting health information for our individuals, making sure that all of our HIPAA stuff is in place. But yeah, we would love to get volunteers in there eventually.
One last question, and then Amber, if you have a question, you guys aren't like new. You guys have been here for a while.
We have been in Westminster since 2019. Yeah. We're now in our probably biggest, and if I'm being very honest, our most successful location, which is it's at essentially Wadsworth and what is 100th, but you could just call it Church Ranch, right?
Okay.
So if you know where the big Vasa Fitness is in the Stanley Marketplace, on the very east end of that lot, there's this building that used to be a waffle stand. It was a bakery. And we took it over just last year. We're about to celebrate our first full year in this new space. It's huge. It provides us all the space we need for dog training. It gives us some admin space for lazy folks like me that just do paperwork all day. But it's an amazing place. If you want to stop by, see it, please give us a call. We love setting up tours, showing people what we do. Mm-hmm. We have these in two incredibly cute English cream retrievers right now, Max and Marcy, that are just adorable. So if they're around, we'd love to introduce you to them. But yeah, we are local. We've been around since 2019, and we are hoping to stay here for as long as we possibly can. Absolutely.
I absolutely love it. I really do. Amber, I'm going to let you dig the next question before we go to the time to shine.
Yeah. So do you have to be a resident of Colorado in order to get one of your animals?
Well, in regards to actually accepting or getting an animal of ours as a service animal, that typically depends upon what we are able to do with the animal first, right? So, like I said, if we have a client in our programming that's becoming a solid trainer that could benefit from a service dog that we have that we're currently training, if that successful mesh can happen, then bam, we would like to put it with that client. We are working on our very first situation right now with an outside individual to actually transfer ownership to them of one of our dogs to then continue to train with this person as a service dog. So someone entirely outside of our group, outside of any of the clients that we serve in any part of our programming. This is going to be our very first kind of full scale attempt at this. And we are really hoping for some great success here because the dog that she is looking to adopt with us, very driven, very successful so far in the training that she has received, and we really think it's going to be a good fit. But we finally get to see, all right, let's see how well this works. Let's see what we can learn from this. And the person we work with, she is just so gung-ho. It's like, yes, this sounds great. I want to push forward. And we're like, we got to give you all these warnings about success rates for service dogs. And she's like, no, let's keep going. So it's a very exciting time for her. It's a very exciting time for us to get this opportunity to really kind of test ourselves, you really put the pedal to the metal and go forward and prove like, absolutely, this can work. And we're going to be part of the reason why it works. So,
and I didn't even ask if he was ever in the military. I apologize for that.
No, I've not. I thank you for your service, Joel. But unfortunately, I'm not a military veteran. We have a good number of veterans in our dog training academy, a great bunch of people that want nothing more than to support the individuals we work with and help them be successful. It's amazing to see veterans at work. So we support veterans in whatever we can do. And I'm not just here just kind of pitching to the crowd. It's just we have a great group of people, and it's a mix of everybody. But the veterans in our program really have made a quite an amazing difference in some of our clients' lives.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here because a majority of the time when we do an interview and we talk to somebody from an organization, I don't know why, but it's almost like they tell us their bio, their life, and they don't really tell about the organization, So I really appreciate you coming on here and tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and what you guys do and how you guys partner with the community and all the different events that you do. So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well, it is. And HG, do you have a question?
I'm all good now.
Okay. All right.
Soaking it up like a sponge vac.
There we go. All right. Well, if no further ado, let's hit the time to shine. Again, remember, Dunkin' Donuts, it runs for our veterans. All right. So, Joel, awesome name. I don't know who named it, but just terrific name. Maybe I didn't ask you the right question or set you up for the answering. There's something that you have that's on your chest that you'd like to talk to us about, to the listeners, the viewers. This is your 2-minute time to shine.
2 minutes time to shine, huh? I like the graphic, by the way. As an East Coaster, Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, I unfortunately, I don't get them as much often, but I've always loved their coffee.
It's time to make the donuts.
It's time to make the donuts. In time to shine. What I will say right now is that, for all of us, trauma exists in very specific ways, in ways that we don't share with people, in ways that other people we believe could not possibly understand. I will say this to any and all of you, whether you are veteran, whether you are non-neurodivergent, whether you are neurodivergent, what is important for everyone is the concept of actually talking about your trauma. And it's not some public forum necessarily, just connecting with someone that you trust, connecting with a professional, whatever the case that might be. Talking about what you've experienced and actually trying what you can to help heal that is what's going to improve your life. And by doing that, you may find other avenues that you never thought possible on how to kind of live your life after that. Because again, trauma really can't be solved by any means, right? But trauma itself is one of those factors that really keeps us from being able to have the experiences that we probably would prefer, that we'd probably really want to have. And I will encourage anyone out there, again, no matter who you are, if you've experienced trauma in your life, or even if you don't know what that trauma might be, talk to someone. Get that help, get that support, and help make yourself the person that you always knew you could be by having that conversation. Just get out there and talk to somebody, whoever it might be. I hope you all have the resources. If not, find someone who has that connection or resources for you. If you are neurodivergent, have disabilities, are looking to get kind of supports to find that thing, my email address and everything is on the website for Soul Dogs. Please reach out to me. If I can help you out, I will. If I can connect you to someone, I will. We are not an organization that looks just to bring people on and make ourselves money. If we can connect you to something that helps you truly, then we want to do it. Whether you are part of the people we serve, the part of the population we serve, or not, the help is everywhere if you can find it. And some people just don't know where to look. So take that first step. A journey starts with the first step, as they say, right? So whatever you can to help yourself, whatever you can do to find someone that can help you, take advantage of it and get that support that you truly need. So,
well, Joel, thank you so much for coming with us. And when we leave, I'll walk you down and talk with you and stuff. For everybody else, it is that time. It is tribute to the troops. And you're listening to
Detail Attention.
First call, the service member's name is called out loud in the context of a unit. This is meant to ensure all are present and accounted for. Second call, the name is called out again, louder, to confirm that the service member is indeed absent. Third call, the name is called out for a final time, followed by a statement indicating that the service member is not present and accounted for, signifying their death. The final roll call serves as a symbolic gesture to respect and remember their service.
Sir, I don't know how to tell the story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to Lindsay Olin Graham, age 71, of Washington, D.C. Lindsay was born on July 9, 1955 in Central South Carolina to Florence James, F.J., and Millie Graham. Lindsay grew up in a hardworking blue-collar family that ran a small restaurant and pool hall. His parents instilled in him the values of service, responsibility, and resilience, values that would define his life's work. Lindsay graduated from Daniel High School in Central South Carolina in 1973, becoming the first in his family to pursue higher education. After earning his law degree, Graham answered a deeper call, service to his country. In 1982, he commissioned into the Air Force, beginning a military career that would span more than 3 decades. As an officer in the Judge Advocate General's Corps, he served both stateside and overseas, including 4 years at Rhein-Main Air Force Base in Germany. When his active duty service ended in 1988, he continued serving in the South Carolina Air National Guard and later the Air Force Reserve, ultimately retiring in 2015 at the rank of colonel. His military career reflected a lifelong commitment to the men and women who wear the uniform. Graham carried that commitment into public office. In 1995, he entered the U.S. House of Representatives, serving South Carolina's 3rd District. Over 4 terms, he became known for his work on military readiness, veterans issues, and constitutional law. In 2003, he transitioned to the U.S. Senate, succeeding Senator Strom Thurmond and beginning a tenure that would last more than 20 years. During his time in the Senate, he served on key committees including Judiciary, Armed Services, and Appropriations, becoming one of the Chamber's most visible voices on national security and defense. His congressional service reflected the same dedication he showed in uniform, steadfast, mission-driven, and rooted in service to country. Though his heart remained in Seneca, South Carolina, where he kept his lifelong home, Graham spent his final years living and working in Washington, D.C., serving the people of South Carolina until his passing on July 11, 2026. He leaves behind a legacy defined by military service and public service. Lindsay is survived by his sister Darlene and his brothers and sisters in arms. We here at MBR would like to thank you, Lindsay Olin Graham, for your service and dedication to our country. You leave a legacy of love and courage. Our prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside you. You are truly missed.
Never forgotten, your courage remains etched in the stars, carved through the pain. We salute the silence.
Bell detail, attention, ready.
It's the guts and it's the glory, 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes, hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line.
Penalty on YOU. Delay of game. 5 seconds before the show. But hey, thanks for watching.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You listen to the show that highlights all the programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H-Train Show right here on the station. That's letting our veterans' voices be heard. MBR. And I tell you what, Amber, that was a great interview, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And while I was talking to him, he told me, he was like, well, that's the first time we've ever been on any like platform or anything. And I'm like, oh, and he has a couple of veterans that do a podcast. They're going to send them over, and, we're sitting here talking, and we have, there's an Army Ranger that he does a nonprofit as well. He was visiting, and he came over to us and started talking, and gave him a duck, so we gave the Beaker Award to the person that came in the studio. So if we have you on here on the show doing an interview, you'll be leaving here with at least a keychain and a beaker, so it's been a fantastic show, I think. Yeah. And before we I gotta ask you, before we go into like the did you find a factor cap video that you sent to HG yet?
I didn't send it to HG, but I sent you the one about Jim Morrison last night. Did you?
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do while we're talking, I'm going to send that to HG so that he can put that on the thing. Because, I don't know if it's true or false, but I definitely want to just kind of talk about it. I'm going to send that to you, HG.
Send it to the manager.
You know what? Go. Is my Facebook thing up? Because you can grab it from the from my message to Amber. Maybe I should start adding you to our little chit chat thing. But I will say this: you got to be careful what you watch on TikTok. Yesterday, I was scrolling. I wasn't doom scrolling, but I was scrolling. And I come across this one TikTok that was talking about a guy named Ronald McDonald, who back in like the 1800s, he lured kids to the circus using like a Happy Meal and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Joel.
oh my God, this is so stupid. You know that it's not true. You know it's not true, but still, it's like, come on, man, and I went, it's that it was one of those TikToks where the number one thing you do is you go in the comments, let's get a few laughs in the comments, and everybody's like, this has already been debunked and stuff like that. I don't know why people do that, why they send out false information. I really think it's kind of like satire. They're just trying to get views. They're just trying to get something.
They also want to see how many people fall for it.
Okay. Well, all right. So I do have to come clean and say that one time, not one time at band camp, but one time at ski camp, me and my friend, we were like, you can say anything to anybody and nobody's gonna check that, because we're skiing. There's not really like media stuff, and we're like, oh, you know what? We're gonna make up something. We told everybody that Britney Spears got in a wreck, and everybody believed it. And they're like, well, who's driving? Oh, Lindsay Lohan, and everybody believed that, to the point where we kind of stopped talking about it, because at like 2:00 we were hearing things about it at lunch, and we're like, wow, one little bit of bad information really like shook the ski resort. We was looking to see if it would be on like Fox 31 or Channel 9 or something. It wasn't, but it
Well,
just goes to
totally
show,
believable.
yeah, you can't believe everything that you see or hear on the internet. Was you able to pull it up?
Was it the video I saw was something about the Gabbards?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's that one.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead and
Well, hold on. I'm still getting it.
oh, okay. All right.
downloaded, but-
So it's crazy to me, you know, what we believe and stuff like that. And you know, it's funny that, you know, the conspiracy stuff, you know, like what we did there, drop the date. You know, I understand where Joy's coming from because I have my conspiracy theories about it too. My conspiracy theories is, you know, people like, for example, like the politics and government, you know, and, you know, talk about, you know, this Constitution. And the way I look at it is, man, the Constitution is almost like the Bible. Everybody interprets that shit differently. And that's why we're running into issues every day, you know, the conspiracy theory, you know. So it's like, you know, they tell us, well, you know, back then, this is what we did in the 1800s. Oh, is it really though? Is it really? Like, you know, do you have video of it? You know, it's because we're such a video society now. You know, if it isn't on video, we don't believe it. And now when they come up with AI, now everybody's screwed. But I'm sitting here babbling to stall. Do you got it now, H?
I'm just dealing.
Okay, all right.
Dealing with technical problems.
Okay,
I'm trying.
dealing with technical problems. All right, no problem. So it's really it's really crazy. And another thing, like I was thinking about it the other day, and I was talking to a friend. Like, if you're at somewhere and somebody hands you like medicine, like you're gonna take that medicine, especially like if you have a headache or something.
Not anymore.
Well, like if I give you a pill, you're gonna take it because you trust me, right? But like, where did you get that pill from? You know, or when you go to the grocery store, since we was talking about like food supply, and everybody's like reading the ingredients on the box. Do we really know if those ingredients are really in the box, that they didn't add something else? Do we really know? I mean, that's where we are as a society. Like we're not believing everything anymore. We're questioning everything. And it's sad that we're like that, but you know, you gotta kind of guard yourself nowadays.
Yeah,
So
you do.
while he's doing that, I do want to reiterate that, you know, we are broadcasting on DV Radio, Star Radio as well, but Star Radio have changed their name to Rebel Rock now.
Interesting.
So the Rebel Rock, tune in. They got some amazing DJs on there. They got some amazing rock music as well. Tracer, I saw a message. When you call or text the MBR number, somebody's going to answer. So, you know, watch what you do. But somebody was talking to us yesterday or the day before and telling Tracer how he loved our music. And, you know, remember, you can find us on not only on TikTok, but you can find us on the Roku and the Fire Stick app. And it looks like he has it done. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is today's cap or fact.
Is it fact or cap? You tell me.
All right. It's going to be a little.
Tulsi Gabbard's brother was arrested for trying to lure children to his hotel room. One of the lesser things that is being reported on this case is the fact that he was going around saying that he was Jim Morrison Jr. And if you told me that a year ago, I would have just written it off. However, given Tulsi's record with MK Ultra files, not to mention her aunt mysteriously being murdered, plus her involvement with a cult from birth, I decided I was going to look into this a little bit further. And honestly, my first thought was he doesn't look anything like his parents. resemblance. In fact, he doesn't look like anybody in his family, really. But obviously, that's not how genetics works. You can't just eyeball it. I understand that. And then I compared him to Jim Morrison. And yeah, I see a resemblance. Now, Bhakti Gabbard was born on January 5th, 1971. And granted, I'm not a big music person, so then I decided to look more into Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison died July 3rd, 1971. It's not going to mean anything now, but keep it in your brain for later. The red flashing lights started when I found out that apparently Jim Morrison's father claimed that they were descendants of the Scottish king, Robert the Bruce, because y'all know how they love bloodlines, these people. And my intrigue was absolutely piqued when I found out that Jim Morrison's father was a naval intelligence officer. We're talking high up. He was a rear admiral by the end of his career. However, the important thing is that his father was responsible for the Gulf of Tonkin incident in Vietnam. The U.S. essentially faked an attack and pretended that the North Vietnamese vessels were returning fire on them, which directly led to the U.S. Congress giving Lyndon B. Johnson any authority to assist any Southeast Asian country whose government was considered to be jeopardized by communist aggression, meaning that this was basically the justification for the Vietnam War. It came out that the NSA deliberately skewed the intelligence to create the impression that an attack had been carried out, when literally no Vietnamese boats were even present. Now, we've talked extensively on this channel about how the CIA director in the 50s and 60s did PSYOPs programs, especially targeted at counterculture, with figures like Timothy Leary. By 1962, the Army was calling for a new kind of war that could exploit vulnerabilities and neutralize political opponents at home, especially left-wing movements. And that's when they unleashed the MK Ultra program onto the unsuspecting public. In the same year that his father incited the escalation of the Vietnam War was the same year that Jim left Florida and transferred to UCLA. One of those most famous alleged cases of CIA mind control, MK Ultra stuff was Charles Manson. And Jim Morrison was left out of a lot of the Manson story. The fact that The Doors was only first even brought to the attention of record companies by a bandmate of one of the Manson family members. Bobby B was also friends with Frank Zappa, who turned Manson down for a record deal, but then frequently let Manson and his family use his cabin. Frank Zappa's father was a top chemical weapons specialist at the same facility that was tied to chemical warfare research and MK Ultra mind experiments. Zappa's manager was one of the first to start Laurel Canyon, which was like the center hub of the counterculture hippie movement. Oh, but it doesn't stop there, folks, because Morrison is rumored to have had a relationship with one of the girls who was a Manson family member. And you know the famous story about how the guy from the Beach Boys picked up a hitchhiking Manson and Manson sent him a bullet and all that stuff? Did y'all know that Jim Morrison was actually with him when they picked up this hitchhiker? Do we really think it's a coincidence they just picked up this hitchhiker? No, I'm sorry. But even beyond that, there's an even more direct connection. Because y'all know Jim's signature hairstyle? Well, that is because of Jay Sebring, Jim Morrison's close personal friend and personal hairdresser, who was one of the victims of the Manson family when they killed Sharon Tate. And it was after this that things really started to unravel for Jim, because his connection to the Manson family was actually so underreported that they never mentioned that they brought Morrison in and interviewed him with the LAPD. He was brought in for questioning over the murders because he was so closely tied to everybody involved. And around this time is when the government started going after Jim Morrison. And he was arrested for this indecent exposure thing, even though all of the bands said that it never happened and people in the audience had conflicting tales. I'm not really going to get into that, but basically he was arrested and convicted of indecent exposure at a concert. Now, mind you, during his entire time as a celebrity, he was telling people that his family was all dead, which obviously wasn't true. Of course, this could have been a metaphorical thing. There are plenty of kids that rebel from their strict parents, but Jim Morrison also claimed that when he was a child, one of the most formulative things that ever happened to him was witnessing a horrific car accident with Native Americans bleeding outside of the road. Like, it was awful. And he claimed that the Native Americans, he felt like their soul entered him. Now, both his family and records indicate that this never happened, or at least there's very little evidence of things being described the way that he did. Now, instantly, that reminded me of Winona Ryder. Y'all remember when I had that whole video about her? Well, Winona Ryder grew up in a cult called the Rainbow where they believed that the dead souls of Native Americans would rise up when the earth starts to turn black and fall sick, and those Native American warriors were going to help save the world side by side with all of the white people. And those light-skinned brothers and sisters would be the reincarnated souls of Native Americans who were killed and enslaved by the first light-skinned settlers. And who was Winona Ryder's godfather? Tim Leary. And guess who did a poem at a fundraiser to help Tim Leary get money for his defense? In fact, Leary actually provided the introduction for a book about Jim Morrison. Then I discovered Patricia. Patricia, who met Jim Morrison when she interviewed him for her magazine in January of 1969. Patricia, who married Jim Morrison in a Celtic hand fasting ceremony in June of 1970. While Jim Morrison was on trial in 1970, she was pregnant. And according to Patricia's book, when he gave her a very chilly response to showing up at his trial, several months pregnant, she was visibly pregnant, according to her, she decided to not go through with the pregnancy. But what if that was not quite true? Because for years, people have just written off Patricia's story as an unhinged groupie. But as we all know now, when there is a mass campaign to discredit somebody and call them crazy, it usually means they're trying to hide something. In the next video, we're going to focus on the last year or so of Jim Morrison's life, as well as the early life of the Gabbard family, and show y'all that maybe, just maybe, Jim Morrison Jr. isn't that hard of a stretch.
That was a lot. Joel, you're muted.
Okay.
Hey, you're good, handsome.
All right. So, is it fact or cap? You people decide and comment. Let us know what you think. So,
I will say that a lot of that information is true. I know. And so Tulsi Gabbard was the only politician that I actually liked. And to find out that her family was part of a cult is mind blowing. And yeah, so now I don't like anybody.
all right, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm with Joy on this. I think a mix of it is true because there's a lot in there. But that's also probably part of the whole CIA disinformation thing. Is a lot of times that they like to leak things that sound like so outlandishly crazy because to hide like what they're really doing, which is still bad or whatever their objective is, but it's just to make it. But they like to like sneak in like some other outlandish things, about that.
Well, I just remembered the conspiracy theory. I believe people were saying at one point that Jim Morrison was actually Rush Limbaugh.
Oh boy. All right. Yeah. All right. Well,
it's a classic bait and switch where it's like, you tell people the truth, but you just sneak in these like such incredible, like unbelievable lies mixed in with your truth. And then it's like, well, you get people are like, oh, that's just crazy. But the truth is hidden in there. It's just in plain sight. It's hiding in plain sight.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I tell you what, it is that time. It is the 2-minute warning. It is the final thoughts.
At Project ML, gratitude. Our mission is simple: to give motorcycles to veterans who need the kind of peace and freedom that only a ride can give. We sponsor charity events and rides to generate donations and fund the acquisition of some bikes, while direct bike donations make up the rest. We seek to provide a little motorcycle healing to capable vets.
All right, and once again, if you know a veteran or you're a veteran yourself that doesn't have a motorcycle, hit that up. Hit it up. They give a motorcycle away every single year. All right, so 40 seconds. HG, what did you learn today?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. I've learned just a lot more about all the different ways that dogs help with trauma. Because like I understood the basic concept of a service dog was like, you know, assisting you with tasks and, you know, helping you throughout your day with when you have a physical disability. But
Right. So
I never I understood the physical element of that, but I really learned a lot more about the emotional and mental element of service dog.
right. You knew the cause, but you didn't really know the effect. You learned about that today. Amber, what did you learn?
I'm just reminded that there are still good people out there helping the least of these, you know, and that's so encouraging. And in my opinion, people with intellectual and mental disabilities, like Down syndrome and autism, can be some of the most amazing people you'll ever meet, and the happiest people you'll ever meet. So don't just throw them away and think that they don't matter.
Yeah, you know, sometimes a person with a disability can teach you a lot if you spend the day with them. Just remember that.
And if I could also add something what Amber said, always remember that sometimes that mental disability isn't always visible on the surface. I think a lot of us, we think that, like, especially with autism, that you can just tell right away, but it's oftentimes how a person handles social situations and cues, you know. So you just always have to remember to be patient. You never really know what somebody.
No, it's just like anybody else with a disability. I have a disability that is sometimes presented, but sometimes it's not. So, you know, don't judge a book by its cover.
Most definitely. Now, next week, ladies and gentlemen, we're supposed to have MJ coming on talking about an event that she's coordinating, a veterans event that's going to be at the end or the beginning of October. So that's who we have next week. And for
I won't
everybody
be
out
there.
there, your safety briefing.
Stay smart, stay safe, be legendary. Know before you go. Don't drink and drive, and don't drive distracted.
All right, awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, from everybody here at Military Broadcast Radio and the H Train Show, we're here for you, not for us.
Yes.
We're giving our veterans a voice. Have a great day, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Have a blessed day.
Hi, I'm Beaker with Military Broadcast Radio TV. We're your virtual MWR, bringing veterans radio, podcasts, gaming, animation, 3D printing, and a community that never leaves you behind. Download our Roku or mobile app today.
Wisdom to share if you listen this week, so pull up a chair and stay for a spell. We're heading down a trail where good stories dwell.